Greetings, everyone. This is Brother Elias, and welcome to another Greenhouse conversation. Today, I'd like to talk about relationships, mainly sex, because it's springtime, and since we are environmental beings, a lot of us are controlled by the environment, and the environment now is calling for sexual relations and things like that. So, anyway, the book that I have today, because I can't tape long. I have a lot to say, but I cannot tape long because it takes so long to download on YouTube. Well, today's book is Date Smart: How to Stop Revolving and Start Evolving in Your Relationships. And what I'm about to just scam over a little bit because I have pretty much to say, a lot to say. It says ways men can impress women. I'm not going to read what's in it, but just like the titles of each one. It says practice appropriate chivalrous behavior. Be strong yet not abrasive. Express and ask about feelings. If you're consuming alcohol, keep it social and minimal. Exhibit confidence, not jealousy. Be accountable for your words and actions. Realize that relationships can't be bought. And treat her with the same courtesy, respect, and enthusiasm in front of your friends, families, and colleagues as you do in private. That's pretty good right there about that. You know, treating her or men as well, because it goes both ways in this world. Treat him or her with the same courtesy, respect, and enthusiasm in front of your friends, families, and colleagues as you do in private. Interesting. Again, it's a nice old book, and plus this book do like a psychological test. It goes back into your childhood, and it deals with a lot of stuff that we don't like to talk about. But anyway, sex. I'm always reading about how men cheat and women don't cheat. I'm always reading about that. Men cheat, men cheat. And I was going to write a poem. I did write a poem a long time ago. A man may cheat from the outside, but the women will cheat from within. See, if women told the truth, and I ran into some, not personally, but via research, and especially if a woman is having a child, you must understand human beings are full of energy. And for those who don't believe in energy or spirits, I'm sorry, I can explain a different scenario, but I'm going to talk about this one. Now, when you are with the person, when you are with a person and things like that, or y'all together and happy and children involved and and just having fun, there's an energy. So you can imagine 2 cups full of water. But you must understand, sometimes when you put more energy on your job and career or what have you, that energy, because you have 1 cup, so when you focus on something else, that energy is split or is depleted when it comes to the person you have in a relationship with. See, I have learned that it is silly to expect an individual who have careers and children and things like that to have that full cup, if you will. So when a person, let's give an example. When a person, mother have a child, a lot of that energy that was focused on that man, that the spirit can feel, and it may not be consciously felt, but it's real, goes to that child, and respectfully so. So I'm not saying either one is wrong, but you must understand, if a man do not understand what's going on, and that's what make him or her seek out or be consumed, if you will, or attached to something on the outside. It can be working longer hours, trying to make more money, or another relationship, or buying new cars and things like that. But again, it's very inappropriate, because existence create balance and harmony. There's nothing in balance. it really is your perception that makes things imbalanced. But if it wasn't balanced, it'd be a ripple in the universe, ripple on this planet. So, not to get too esoteric, but you must understand energy. So you got all types of men walking around that believing that they're the only culprits in what was considered wrong, because again, sex is something local. It have nothing to do with heaven. It have nothing to do with God. It's just local. Okay? So again, if you study your history, having sex and religion, that's something that's new. Okay? Because there's a difference between sex and love. But back to this energy. So I remember this woman was saying that, well, the reason why I'm not talking to a man because I don't have that type of time, because men take a lot of energy. And she was talking about she still got to raise her children. At least she respect that sensitivity. She was sensitive enough and truthful enough to know that. Okay. Now, yes, you do have immature people, but they have a mental condition. Okay. The mental condition is called the environment. If men or boys had tons of men having are tons of men that was older than them showed examples, consistent examples, then things would be better. But in this culture, and actually in the physical world, because the physical world got some downs, that's attached to the flesh, most young people listen to the guy that's on the street or macking girls and things like that instead of the person that's more spiritual. See, again, there's something weird about this existence we're in, but this existence is just like a vehicle and a computer. If you study enough, you can learn its rules. Okay? And again, we must respect the rules of this planet because we did not create it. So you got all these people having these so-called cheating experiences, not respecting nature. I think is extremely silly. Number one, for women to wear these type of clothes and then to automatically say men should be strong enough. That is totally not fair at all. But men can be strong enough. I remember when I first moved to Atlanta, I was sick to my stomach because every man was looking at some woman's behind. It's like their head turned. I was like, man, yo, that really made me sick to my stomach. But what happened when I tested myself to the extent, because there's a lot of people in Atlanta, a lot of women in Atlanta, and now I didn't have a car, then I was on the train and the bus because I stayed in Morrow, Georgia. It was crazy because I disciplined myself so much that part of me was leaving me. And I didn't know that. I was becoming void of all sex. I thought that was dumb to try to be a human being in this world. I think you should be able to enjoy it. So I had to do certain things. It wasn't sexual, to keep me human, if you will. So, but I didn't like the pull in my chest when it was a nice, attractive woman walking by. I didn't like all that because it was control. I don't like games. Do you understand? But to me, most men, I just didn't like when a woman walked by the train, say everybody's head turned. It's like, man, I don't like being an animal. I'll just be up front, an animal. Because again, nature controls its program. Human beings at least have some subtle abilities to try to change its program. And I remember I was watching monkeys, and this group of monkeys, their females behind get fat and red. I can't name it the tribe of monkeys, if you will, but I remember watching that, and I was not attracted to their red fat behind. You see what I'm saying? Then I started looking at human beings. I'm like, yo, but that's how nature created us. So it's okay. And another thing, when you deal with spiritual men, because they got this concept in this world for the lower classes, not the upper classes, but the lower classes, that spiritual man is not sexual, and that a priest and all kinds shouldn't have sex. That is totally outrageous. It is mad. People, I'm gonna be blunt. You are insane. You are complete insane individuals. I'm trying to be kind, because you're not going to come from heaven, the spiritual world of love, and then you come in this physical world and you dealing with a man who pray and fast and deal with God's energy. That is so much abundant energy. That's one of the main reasons why quote unquote spiritual men are real sexual. Some people are not disciplined enough. But if you're an alcoholic, if you do drugs, that takes away some of your desires to have sex. Well, not desires, you may have desire, but your body wouldn't function. So look on the opposite side. A person that drink good water, fast and exercise and pray and stay in his mind on what was considered to be God or truth. You don't gotta be religious. That person really would like to appreciate a nice body and the touch and the feel because their energy resonates it. And I remember one time I was going on my 4 or 5 year with no relationship, no touching like that. And I remember I used to go to the gym. It was LA Fitness, and I remember the fitness people knew single women because they would try their best to get my attention. It was kind of funny. And then plus, one thing that I appreciated also is that I remember I used to go to certain luncheons and dinner, and it'd be a lot of wealthy men, black men, and I have a real old car, really old, not even cool clothes, but a lot of the women were drawn to me, and the man me looked like, yo, I got all this money, I got a fine suit. They was really confused, but they didn't know I was a person of God, and prayed, and I was always in the mind of God. So the energy, you understand what I'm saying, was there. That's what I noticed. That's very consistent. So there is nothing wrong with spiritual people having intercourse because again, I had this one experience, I had an astral experience, and that's what made me, think about cheating. I'm like, yo, because again, I really have some serious discipline. And those who are close to me definitely know my discipline is extreme. Okay? But anyway, I had this experience, and I was like, if that experience was that intense, that means these monks are, well, they're not lying, but they trying to play like they all kind. You can really have an intense sexual experience in the ethers. Because religion talk about cheating and stuff like that. And I thought, all my years of studying religion and trying to be with the religion, I thought that was pretty rough. Because again, and I'm not afraid to express this. I'm not a nut. I sit down and analyze my mind. I make your knowledge look silly. So that's why I can speak freely like this. Because I'm not lying. I'm not making it up. I mean, everything about it was almost a literal physical experience, and it shook me. I'm like, man, that's pretty bad. But anyway. So sex, is something I think that's beyond the body. And spiritual people, they can do all types of stuff without even physically touching you. And women know these things, man. It's the thing about it. It's sad that the secrets of what women can do without that non-physical reality, if you will. And I just think it's bad. Sometimes I don't want to say too bad, but because everything is in harmony. But again, for individuals who really, been through the test of time, it's a lot of things that go on, man. And maybe people don't know they go on, they're not conscious of it. But again, I just think that, I don't believe in opposites. Trust me, I don't believe in opposite attract. I believe like. I believe it's fair. If somebody naturally desires something and the other person naturally, without no tussle or struggle, I think that would be an honorable relationship. But so many people have their mask on when they first meet the person, and then all the truth come out in the end, and then you have these certain contracts. And again, that's just a part of history, and this technology and us having the ability to travel, is actually diffusing all these things that we did in the past and in someone in the present. But I just want us to understand and be truthful about things, about sex and the beauty of sex. It's so many different levels that you can exchange energy, especially if you test it. If men just sit back for a while, literally sit back, pray and you don't not gotta pray to God, but say kind words and pray and soak and fast and don't have sex for a while, and then focus your energy on somebody. You can literally, I'm telling you, so many people are doing so many things, and that's one of my codes. It's like when I learned a secret, I didn't do it. I never did it. I tested to see if it was real, but then cut it off, especially if it manipulated other situations and people. But other people don't have that type of discipline, because I'm meant to do no harm on the highest levels I can possibly. But I just think that's very sad that, as human beings who have the ability to do just a little more than animals and plant life. You know what I'm saying? Because even plants manipulate birds and, with their scent and stuff like that. And, women, do the same thing. Men do the same thing. I think it's an equal exchange. I think it's a secret desire. And a lot of times, when women, get involved in other things, they put a part of themselves in that. And it takes from the relationship. I'm not saying the person is wrong, and I'm not saying the person shouldn't put their physical penis in somebody. But if a person is not strong enough, that's going to be the reality, because you got tons of lonely people out there and tons of mixed up energy, listening to the gay and lesbian community, especially the gay men. There's a lot of mixed energy. You know what I'm saying? So if we want to be silly, just enjoy your rewards. And what I mean by silly is we are spiritual beings. We have all types of interactions that's very subtle. Even people who had near-death experiences says your energy connect to the other person's energy before they even hear the sounds that come out of your mouth. So, I know I do different things from different people, but I know it's a season for sex and all that kind of stuff. But, I just want people to understand it is okay. And I think it's the best to be around people with if you don't have serious contracts, and if you do, it's up to you, do whatever you want. But I think it's cool to be around people who naturally like to do the things you do without trying to convince them, without them trying to convince you, in that struggle of power. Don't nobody win when it comes to the hurt game. Because again, you can do something so good and the other person can't do it, and then they end up getting sick. It's just a lot of things that we do, and then we are all hurt in the end. So that's why the most important thing is to try to be patient and to love and be consistent. And then listen to your hurt. Try to listen to it, because a lot of times we end up doing the same things over and over and over again. Then we have this amnesia, and then we fall back in the same situations. It's like we're addicted to it. I wish I was young, to kind of really express like, oh, I really don't know. But, hey, I'm not young anymore. And I've been seeing this pattern since I was, I think, 7, 8 years old, this type of pattern. Listening to all the complaints of women had about men, then trying them and getting the total opposite. I think it's an addiction that a lot of women and even people in general, I just wish we was told the truth, but the truth will come out. And the truth is of the Father and of the wind and of life, so people just understand sex is an amazing thing. It's a beautiful thing. Even the touch, not even the intercourse. I mean, when you with somebody and y'all like how each other look physically, that physical attraction is there. And then you have nice, beautiful scent. And then y'all have a gentle touch and you can do so much. It's an honor. And there is nothing in the spiritual world that do not want us to have these experiences, because you can be a monk on the mountain. Somebody gonna come and get you. And you're gonna have an energetic experience. You can have it with plants. You can have it with life, being on this planet. And that's why it's so funny when people talk about the chi and things like that. They point right there at the sexual area. Some reason they go right there to that area. Because that area brings life or helps life come into being. So I want us to really, again, me personally, but what I like to express what history expressed, because when I speak of what history is speaking, it's not me. It's something that's eternal, that's going to live. Okay? Hurt is a part of this life. Love is a part of this life. But I do believe we can change it. I do. We have the potential, but it takes a lot of work. Um, so, sex is an honorable thing. I wouldn't be here. Most people wouldn't be here if it wasn't for sex. So, sex is not that bad thing. But I just think human beings need to have their proper interpretation. So, if you're in a certain group and y'all have an agreement, it's okay because y'all have an agreement. But if you're in a situation you don't have the agreement, that's going to bring that wrong interpretation. That wrong interpretation going to produce an energy. And that energy is going to be uncomfortable in your environment, your home, and your job and things like that. So from a human perspective, because I'm not into talking about nature and existence. I know for a fact we don't interpret things the same. So from a human perspective, if you have an understanding, it will be appropriate that y'all stay to that understanding. If it change, it's appropriate to make the decisions you need to make. It is your life. Life is short. You will not be here that long. You will not be that physical person that long. Matter of fact, you can die immediately. My heart can stop right now. Okay, so remember that. So all these things that we deal with, it's a part of this existence. Try to be around those who have the common mind, without being forced or convinced. They just naturally on their journey. You meet them there, and you watch them for a while. I think it'd be an honorable thing, And I'm just think that's an honorable thing to try to correct something that's been proven not to work. In this world, it's just tough. It's just so tough, man. Because you have that love, and that love create ownership. The feeling of ownership, like that person is yours. And we know for a fact God or life can take that person's life and you can't do nothing about it. They are dead. So that lets you know that in truth, and it's so funny when you listen to people who have long relationships, when one dies, you notice the other one don't bring the person back to life. The other one dies alone. You understand what I'm saying? They die. Okay, so that's your real contract. It's death. Unless you receive the rainbow body and stuff like that. And I was in front of an infrared camera, and people who've been around me, they know I've been saying I can do certain things with energy, and I really can, because the infrared turned almost all white, my body, because when you look at an infrared camera, it's like a reddish and white in some places. When I did my energy in my stomach, my chest, it expanded throughout my body right on that camera. I'm going to try to go back and record it. It was at that museum that Coca-Cola and the people around me is looking like, So I thought that's very cool. So that's definitely telling me where I'm at spiritually. That I can almost turn away from human beings and go into nature and finish my work in nature. So it's going to be a slowing down process, but I really enjoy that, knowing that the things that I do and have is real. Because when you can prove something to science, is more believable than some mystery esoteric stuff. And my center of my whole chest and my shoulder, because I did it for a second. Not a second, about 10 seconds, 10, 15 seconds. Was glowing hot like a bright. It disappeared, and then it boom, like a explosion. And I did it 3 times. So I'm very happy. So again, people, those who love the human experience, continue to enjoy your human experience and things like that. Brother Elias, I have been consistent since I was 5 years old, and most of the time that I was an evil and bad person was somebody lying on me and didn't want to look bad themselves. So I have done I believe I've done a good job here, despite not being with a guru on top of some mountain. They were blessed. Well, I was blessed with otherwise, but I did it without it. So I'm proud of my little reality. It took a long time, and it is real. So these trees and plants and these beautiful, lovely basil. Look how that leaf look. I know you can't see it, Gee, ooh. I had to turn the mic on because I remember I heard myself chewing the last time. I didn't want to be rude. So again, whoever you with and whatever you dealing with in your relationship, make sure y'all have a common understanding. If y'all don't have a common understanding, it was going to cause problems. We already know what's going to happen. It could even evolve into someone dying. So be responsible if you can, if you may. There is no judgment here, but the judgment I do have is please respect the body that you live in because it interprets things in a certain way according to what the environment. So if you live in America, it's tough to have 4 or 5 wives because we were conditioned to have one, and or vice versa, one woman with 5 husbands, because the environment that we grew up in, told us that one woman, one man. You see what I'm saying? So be aware of your environment and your genetic conditions according to the understanding of your environment, the collective understanding. Because they even got a Bible to tell you that it should be one man and one woman. Some religions, they have their scripture, like the Quran, that you're going to have up to 4. You know what I'm saying? So your interpretation of your experience is local. It's not etherical. It's not in heaven. It's not unseen. It's all local. But you have to respect it because you can have anxiety attacks. You can have stroke. You can ruin families, hurt children, mess up generations. So we already know the results. But again, it's pretty tough in the world when everybody respect the opposite of what it was proven to be a correct way of life. So enjoy whatever life you have. Enjoy it to the best because that's what you're going to take home to your soul group or to your understanding when you are a spiritual being. And I think that's an honorable thing. And I'm so proud of myself that my energy now is a cooler energy and it have a perfume type of scent. So I know even if I physically die now, I know I will be all this hard work in this life of all this, because I never judged this life. It's looking pretty good. So I used to always question, well, if I was a billionaire, yada, yada, yada. Well, I think I'm a billionaire in the spiritual world, So now it's time to get with nature and enjoy nature and, and really go the direction that I think is a lovely direction, for me. Once the children grow up and stuff, they have their life and things like that. But I think me and my astral dreams and my imagination, a good movie, good music and stuff. Oh man, not too much drama in that, and the small towns, and everybody to themselves. I mean, it's amazing. So again, just a nice little fun book, to get. Got a little different tests. You'll like the test. I remember I read it when I first got it about 10 years ago, I think. Some people even read it and start crying. Really, is that good? They really break down certain things. So, let's try to get all the hurt out the way and let's enjoy ourselves. And this is Bray Lies. All right, peace and blessings. Please be divine, whatever it is, alcohol, drinking a 40 on porch, or some monk on the mountain. That's your divine work. If people don't like that, please don't try to force it on other people. So just allow them, but enjoy the company that the company enjoy you. All right, one love, blessings to the heaven of the great mother in truth. All right, great father of truth, the great mother of earth, and the great mother of the universe, and the great father of breath, or what they say, chi, or some other stuff. But anyway, all right, one love, happy love. It's warm. And today is I'm recording for Sunday because like the YouTube video downloads so long. So thank you, peace and blessings, Brother Lies, and I'm out. And my greenhouse talker Bob Ross, Bob. I can't remember that. Can't remember that train guy. Can't remember. So sorry about that. Peace.